Hello everybody, welcome to part 2 of my MasterClip HD Roamer horse clipper service. I'm Simon and welcome to Oakside Saddlery. In the first video then, dismantled these. First time I've done a set of these clippers, so it was a bit of a surprise for me of what's inside and how it works. There's a couple of bits I need to look at. There was a few things I'm not so sure about as they went. But we'll have a look at getting them back together again and how they work. So all the parts been cleaned up. This side is the bit that's set on top, so this side is the bit that the motor sits onto. Part of the switch, so that fell apart if you remember from the first video. So I'm going to figure this out first before I start putting everything else. So that sits in there, that went in fairly easy. It's just going to slide backwards and forwards there, and then this was the switch that fell off. So that's one way. I'm guessing that that sits like that. Yeah, that worked. So that's the right way around. So now I know that. I'm going to take that back off. Before I do anything with this, I'm going to put just a little smidgen of grease on the back of it because it's sliding on a bit of metal. And when I say a smidgen, get me some pot of grease out. I mean a smidgen. So we're just going to smear a little tiny bit on the back of there. Not too much. It's just enough that when that's pushing on there, it just stops it jamming up if it will do, or wearing. So that's that in there. Good. Get rid of this. On that again for a while. So that's the switch bit done. We know how the other part from the outside goes. Back of this fits in with that. So this motor is going to sit this way round. So everything's on it. So it's got little bits that need doing. So I can't take this apart. It's a solid state one. So everything's fixed in, is it? So the first thing I need to do is give it a bit of a clean out. So this is just a contact cleaner. Give it a bit of a shake. I'm going to spray it into either side. So I have a little bit in there, a little bit in there. It should clear that brushes and commuter ring that are built into it. So that's good. I can feel that feels better already. Going to take off any excess from there. Don't want it all in the places that it shouldn't be. Other thing we're going to look at is a little drop of oil in there. So we're just going to go for a little tiny drop just in there, and another one just in there. Again, give that a little twiddle around. What I want to do is ease that into them bearings that are in there, and you can feel it goes better already. I'm going to take off any excess, so we don't need any of that. Don't need anything around here. Have a little spin round because that will fly out where I don't want it otherwise when we put them together. That's that gone. Yes. So then we need to get that switch, excuse me, here, that switch in there so it sits at the back there, and then it's just going to slide down until it catches. I think that caught it there. That looks right. The motor's going to sit there. Then these connectors are going to be one in there. That's good. And the other one sits in there. There we go. And what I'm guessing is going to happen is when I put this on, the two pieces on there will press on the top of these and hold them in place. So at the moment, they're both loose. So it will hold them in place and stop them moving around. So that looks good. Give the motor a quick turn before I do anything else. And that looks good. That little switch then, before I forget, it's going to sit in there. So we should have that just in there. Just caught that up. And that should, oh, just caught that up. And it should be now that when I switch it, I can feel that it's doing that switch backwards and forwards, and it feels good. So always try things whenever you get a part like that. If you can try it without it falling apart, try it. It's better to try it now without the electrics on it than put all the electrics in, and then you have a problem because the things are clicked up and jammed and everything else. So we've got nothing else to do on there. That's going to go through. So that's our two cases. Then we've got our screws. Didn't lose any of them, although they did all stick to the motor at one point when I couldn't figure out what's going on. This one's going to come into here. again, when we do these, no real really trying to crush them tight together. They should all just fit together smoothly. And if they fit together smoothly, you know you haven't got nothing trapped. If you've got a bit that's not, you know, sticking out somewhere and not going in, then that's the problem. There's two little clippers back here, which is what them clicks are. So see, where's that camera? You see there where it's got a little latch on it, so it's latched into place to hold the back bit. There's no screws there, are there? So that's what that clicking is. Yeah, so I'm happy with that. Motor still turns, good. Screws them. I'm going to drop them in place. I need a little screwdriver out for that because I've got a bigger one at the moment. Get the hair off of there, what I used to dig anything out with. And all I'm going to do with these, because again they're plastic, metal into plastic, turn it the wrong way till I feel that click. There, and then just tighten them up. I'm not going to tighten it up properly, I'm just going to do it up until it's sort of got a bite. I'm going to do that with another one. So it goes into there and get it into place so it's in its shot. Tighten it up. And no real effort, I haven't done it up tight yet. These ones which are down in the hole, they're going to drop in the hole. Put the screwdriver in. There goes the click. Go. If it jammed up tight, don't keep forcing it. Don't force it, because if you force it, it's not going in the hole. If you force it in, what you're doing is cutting a new thread in that plastic. So each time you cut another thread, it makes it slightly weaker, and that's when the plastic will eventually just give way. So it goes into place, turn it back. There's the click, tighten it up. Now I can start pushing these through because I know they're all in the right place. So that's one sorted in there. Second one's in there. Third one's in there. Fourth one's in there. Fifth one's in there. So this one's a long one. So that one's up here, the other one's down there. Just going to go around there and make sure they're all tight. So a bit of pressure on the back of that screwdriver. Push it in. Turn it until you're happy. Push it in. Turn it until you're happy. And you're happy. You need to put a bit of pressure on these each time, because if you don't, it'll pop off the top of that screw, damage the screw, and then you've got your screw jammed in there. So that's our motor in place. As it is a nice clipper, isn't there? So still all good. Oh, dog again. Ferocious. So clip ahead then. This piece here, when they finished, start them all off now. So clip ahead then. The part on there is quite good. It won't come apart unless you force this out. So these are normally pressed in there, so I don't take these off if I can help it. It's got some sort of clip in that will get all this apart. We never try and do it. So this part here can move. That's nice and smooth, and the whole thing itself has got a bearing in it, so the whole thing runs. So what I'm going to look for is where the joins are, so I can see it moves there, but not the rest of it down. So I'm just going to put a little drop of oil just in there, and all I'm going to do is just turn it until it starts to absorb that oil into it, and already I can feel that starting to free it up. So it's starting to move in. Feels a bit better. Now sometimes there's a screw there, sometimes that screw will lead directly into the shaft. And if that's the case, we can undo a screw. We can undo a screw. Dog's big, right gobby today. Undo the screw and see what's in there. So the first thing we're going to have a little look at then is what is underneath that screw. So screwdriver goes in, bit of pressure on it. Just release it. Feels really tight. Not necessarily happy about it. Proper long screw. They are being really mouthy today. Oh, what can we bark at next? And the other thing sometimes these can do is hold the shaft in place. So if it doesn't feed through, it will hold the shaft. So it's not holding the shaft, so we can have a little drop of oil in there. So again, all we're going to do, drop of oil on it, and it has to be a little small bit. Turn it around so hopefully it gets in. Screw goes back in. So these sort of screws, take your time, bit of finger tight first maybe. Once you've got it in, tighten it back up. Again, we keep that pressure on it all the time as we're pushing both hands together, get that screw in nice and tight. Don't want it to come out. What I don't want to do is burr the end over, especially because this bit's against the horse, isn't it, when you're clipping. So if you get a rough part on there, that could catch your horse. So all the pressure, tighten it up, all the pressure, tighten it up, all pressure. That's it, locked in place. Check it, nice and smooth. Bearing all goes still, so this all feels good. Had a little bit of grease on there, so we're going to smear a little bit of grease around the edge of it. Not loads. It doesn't blow air through these, so it's actually sealed, which is quite handy. So it's sometimes a better design than it is blowing the air out. So again, a bit of grease. Just smear it on it. And as with most things, you don't have to get it all the way around, because as it's turning, it will take it round itself. And most of it ends up getting thrown off the side anyway if it's too loose, to be honest, and it's spinning at such a high speed in there. So paper towels again, get rid of the grease, don't need that anymore. Getting this together, it's nice and simple, isn't it? It's 2 screws in there. We're just going to put our clipper head in, nice and simple. Now this one can go all the way around. Sometimes they can, sometimes they can't. Just depends on what ones they are. So we're going to put the screw in a place, turn it, and see that drop? So now it's dropped. I know that it's lined up. Design of this head's better than the Heineken ones, because the screws on a lot of them, you're up here. On these ones, I can actually get a screwdriver in square. So again, no real pressure on it. Wrong way. There goes the click. Really loose at the moment. I'm not putting any pressure on it. I don't want to tighten this up until I've got the other screw in place. So that screw's going to go in as well. Line it up with what you've got. Turn it. There was a click. Start tightening it up. So again, no real pressure on this. This is just loose as loose can be. There was the first bite. There's the second bite. Bit of pressure. Tighten it up. Bit of pressure, tighten it up. Now, tensioner, blade set. I haven't cleaned the blades or anything like that. They're all nice and clean. I think they was recently sharpened a little while back, so there's nothing to do on there. So test for them. Battery packs. I've blown the battery packs out. You can't, obviously I can't clean them all up or anything. I'm hoping this is the one that was charged up, so if not, it'll be a quick funny video, won't it? I'm going to plug it in. It just slides in the back, clicks into place. Once they click into place, we can turn them, and then we can see them going. Everything sounds good. There's no pat test to do on this part, but I have got a pat test to do on the charger, so I should whack that on my thing. The chance of one of them failing is so slim. Little drop of oil in that bit there, make sure it stays in place. Bit of oil on the blades, and they'll be done. So 10 volt. DC 2 amps, cutting speed of 2,300 RPM. MasterClip horse clippers. Hope you enjoyed that video. I don't recommend horse clippers, but if I did, these would probably be the ones I would recommend. In particular, they're not expensive as horse clippers go. Parts are all available, and as you can see, they're nicely made. They're a nicely made clipper. So I know lots of people diss all these marks you never heard of, but MasterClip are very good, very good. Anyway, if you like the video, give it that thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see some more. And otherwise, have a good day and goodbye.